Namaskar. Welcome you all to the session 13 on the case studies and best practices. And mind it, this is the last session and the closing session of this course on disaster risk reduction and management. Let us talk something about disaster management. Disaster management involves a coordinated approach to reducing disaster risks involving preparedness, ensuring effective response and facilitating recovery. Real world case studies will demonstrate practical applications of disaster management practices globally. This session emphasizes key objectives such as enhancing community resilience, integrating sustainable recovery strategies and leveraging technology for preparedness and mitigation based on the case studies and best practices studied. Let us first talk about the Japan's earthquake preparedness. Japan's seismic resilient infrastructure includes advanced technologies like shock absorbers and base isolation system to minimize the damage from earthquakes. Annual Disaster Prevention Day involves nationwide drills, public education campaigns and awareness programs, and that is to prepare citizens for emergency. A sophisticated earthquake early warning system disseminates alerts via mobile phone, sirens and media, allowing people valuable time to take safety measures prior to that. Now let us discuss Netherlands comprehensive flood management system. The Delta work, a network dams, sluices and storm surge barriers protect low-lying areas from flooding caused by North Sea. The Room for River initiative manages excess water by creating overflow areas, widening river channels and constructing secondary embankment to reduce pressure on the levees. Continuous community engagement ensures that residents are knowing about the flood risk and actively participate in preparedness measures. Let us talk about the Bangladesh community based approach. The cyclone preparedness program organizes over 50,000 trained volunteers to issue warnings, guide evacuations and assist in disaster response. Cyclone shelters designed to serve as schools or community centers during non-emergency times provide safety for vulnerable population during storms. Early warning system utilize radio broadcasts, loudspeakers and community based networks to ensure timely communication, significantly reducing the loss of life in Bangladesh. Let us see the case studies of Chile's earthquake preparedness. Chile's National Emergency Office ensures centralized coordination of disaster risk reduction, preparedness and response. Stringent seismic building codes mandate reinforced design and structural safety measures, reducing the building collapse during earthquakes. Nationwide earthquake drills in schools, workplace and public spaces educate citizens on proper safety protocols during safety for against seismic events. United States hurricane preparedness. Florida enforces strict building codes requiring hurricane resistant designs including wind resistant windows, reinforced roofs and elevated structures. Detailed evacuation plans supported by pre-identified shelters and transportation networks ensure a smooth and timely relocation. Public awareness campaigns disseminated via apps, social media, TV that educate residents and assembling emergency kits that follows evacuation orders. One Indian example, Indian Tsunami Early Warning Center monitors seismic activity and rapidly issues alerts to coastal regions, improving safety during tsunamis. Integrated coastal zone management in India focuses on balancing environmental conservation with sustainable development in vulnerable coastal regions. Mock evacuation drills and community training programs empower local population with the skills to respond effectively during emergency. Let us see the case of Philippines multi-hazard preparedness. The multi-hazard early warning system in Philippines provides warning for diverse hazards including typhoons, earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Hazard map and community training initiatives enhance preparedness of risk and improve preparedness measures. Pre-stocked evacuation shelters and organized emergency plans ensure that communities can respond swiftly and safely during disasters. Importance of early warning system. Early warning system provide critical lead time, enabling communities to take preventive action, reducing the casualties and damage. 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami highlighted the absence of regional early warning system, leading to creation of Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning System. Awareness in technology including AI and GIS improved the accuracy of hazard prediction and the speed of alert dissemination. Resilient infrastructure, lessons learned from Japan and Chile. Earthquake resistant designs like those in Japan incorporate flexible building materials and advanced engineering technologies to withstand seismic shock. Chile's strict adherence to seismic building codes has significantly reduced fatalities and infrastructure damage during the earthquake. Multi-layered resilience strategies considered cascading risks such as tsunami following earthquakes, ensuring comprehensive disaster mitigation. Community engagement during disaster risk reduction. Community involvement as seen in Bangladesh CPP strengthens disaster response by utilizing local knowledge and volunteer networks. Localized training programs provide communities with life saving skills such as first aid and emergency evacuations. Awareness campaigns empower residents to take proactive steps, reducing reliance on external and enhancing community resilience. Then evacuation planning, challenges and the solutions. Hurricane Katrina in the US exposed the gaps to inclusive evacuation planning, and that emphasizes the need of accessible transport and shelters for vulnerable populations. Pre-planned evacuation routes and shelters tailored to the needs of diverse communities are essential for effective disaster management. Regular community drills and simulations build public confidence, ensuring readiness during the actual emergencies. Now integrating DRR into developmental planning. 2018 Kerala floods demonstrated the risk of unplanned urbanization, deforestation and poor water management practices, and that is why emphasis was made for incorporating disaster risk reduction into developmental policies, promoting sustainable policies such as watershed management and regulated constructions. By that it strengthens the building code, and through that we are in a position to enforce land use policies, and that can significantly reduce the vulnerability and enhance the resilience. Next point of discussion is community based disaster risk reduction, CBDRR. Hazard mapping and vulnerability assessments enable communities to identify at risk areas and prioritize resources. Training programs focus on first aid, search and rescue and disaster response, helping to build local capacity to act during emergency. Community led warning systems, it ensures timely communication and rapid mobilization of resources during crisis. Then what are the technologies available for early warning systems? AI and machine learning can improve the accuracy and efficiency of hazard prediction such as flood forecast and cyclone path. GIS and drones provide real time data, enabling authorities to monitor hazards and assess risk effectively. Mobile apps and social media platforms can ensure that early warning reach diverse populations quickly and widely. Now next point of discussion is post disaster recovery, build back better. In short, it is called BBB 3B. 3B principle prioritizes rebuilding resilient infrastructure, incorporating hazard resistant designs and materials. Japan's recovery efforts after the Kobe earthquake set an example by adhering to stringent seismic safety standards. Sustainable recovery focuses on improving infrastructure while reducing future vulnerability, and again to take care of the mental health in post disaster scenario. Counseling services and trauma informed care addresses the psychological impacts of disasters. Community support networks foster resilience by creating safe spaces for emotional healing and mutual assistance. Long term mental health programs ensure holistic recovery and community well-being. Next is ecosystem-based solutions in DRR. Vietnam's mangrove restoration project provides natural protection against typhoon, and this helps in reducing storm surge impacts and coastal erosion. Ecosystem-based approach offer additional benefits such as biodiversity conservation and carbon sequestration. Integrating nature-based solutions into recovery planning enhances resilience and environmental sustainability. Now, financial mechanism in DRR. One lesson learned is to include financial mechanism in the DRR. Mexico's catastrophe bonds provide rapid access to funds for disaster recovery, reducing dependence on external aid. Insurance schemes protect vulnerable population and mitigate economic losses during disasters. Pre-arranged financial mechanism enable quicker recovery and long-term resilience planning. Then there is a role of public-private partnership in disaster management. Public-private partnership harness private sector resources to strengthen disaster resilience and recovery efforts. Examples include Japan's collaboration with private companies to provide logistic support and emergency supplies during disasters. PPPs enhances efficiency in disaster response and rebuilding processes. It leverages innovation and expertise, creating resilience. Now, international cooperation, lesson learned from Indian Ocean tsunami. Let us see what lesson is learned. 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami emphasized the importance of cross-border mechanism and cooperation in disaster management, and that is why establishment of IOT WMS demonstrates value of regional knowledge sharing and coordinated response system. Joint training exercises improve readiness and foster coordination for transnational hazards. Capacity building in DRR. We have to scale up the capacity building in DRR. Nepal's community based training programs equip local population with skills needed to respond during disaster effectively. Youth and school based programs foster a culture of cooperation and resilience from an early age. Capacity building ensures that communities can sustain their disaster preparedness independently, but still we are facing certain challenges in disaster management. Number one is limited resource in low income regions hinder effective disaster preparedness and response. Number two is maintaining volunteer engagement and scaling solutions to diverse contexts are persistent challenges. Number three is adapting global best practices to implementation. And with this, let us slowly move towards end of the session, but prior to that, let us try to go through the key takeaways from the case studies we have discussed. Number one takeaway is effective disaster management combines robust early warning system, resilient infrastructure and community participation. Second takeaway is integrating DRR into national policies ensures long-term sustainability and adaptability in changing risks. And the third takeaway is cross-sectoral collaboration and international knowledge sharing will enhance global disaster resilience. And some of the concluding points I like to discuss with you. Number one, building resilient communities requires integrating global lessons, leveraging technology and fostering local initiatives. Number two, adaptable frameworks ensure sustainability and preparedness for future challenges. And number three will be collaboration across sectors will strengthen disaster management and this will foster in long term resilience. So, friends, thank you very much for joining this session and successfully completing all the sessions. Your interest and active participation have motivated me to enhance my focus more and more on the course to ensure that you have good idea of DRRM while completing this course today. Thanks again. Thank you very much. Namaskar.